Takže, pekne vás vítam v popoludňajšej časti dnešného festivalu 30 po 30. Dúfam, že obed bol výborný, že sa dobre bavíte, že ste si vyskúšali všetky aktivity, ktoré tu sú, masáže, zapojili ste sa do súťaží, ak nie, tak stále máte na to priestor počas celého popoludnia. Myslím si, že to bude zaujímavé. Carpitch a popoludňajšie business meetingy štartujú opäť o 13:50 a prvé dve diskusie dnešného popoludňa budú prebiehať v anglickom jazyku. To sú také základné informácie na úvod a ja už to nebudem veľmi naťahovať. V každom prípade vieme, že otužovanie je zdravé. Vieme, že je to mimoriadne populárna vec medzi mladými, ale aj staršími ľuďmi. A vieme, že pre nás, ktorí to nerobíme, sa niektoré výkony zdajú byť naozaj extrémne. Ale aby sme skutočne videli, čo všetko ľudské telo dokáže a kde sú hranice, tak máme pre vás naozaj výnimočného hostia, ktorý za chvíľu príde sem ku mne na pódium, ale ešte predtým vám na úvod pustíme toto špeciálne video. Takže prosím vás, pozrite sa na to.
For decades on end, Wim Hof, widely reckoned as the Iceman, has done the unthinkable. With over 23 world records, including one for taking the longest ice bath and completing a full marathon above the polar circle in temperatures close to -20 degrees, he proved the impossible. Granted, with what first seemed as supernatural powers, people were brimmed with wonderment, if not sheer disbelief. Along with this, it left scientists all around the globe baffled. How could this daredevil possibly withstand such cold conditions? The moment Wim Hof submerges in ice, all laws of physiology are defied. By turning his mental thermostat up, he has learned to control his heart rate, breathing, as well as his blood circulation. All three elements that are linked to what is known as the autonomic nervous system. After 35 years of research and practice, the Iceman has mastered this control system like no other.
Zonder wetenschap zijn we niet. Geen speculatie, resultaten.
In 2011, scientists from the reputed Dutch Radboud University thoroughly investigated his physiology with stunning results.
Onze belangrijkste conclusie, dat we nu voor het eerst heel duidelijk en onomstotelijk feitelijk hebben aangetoond dat een mens dus wel in staat is om zijn autonome zenuwstelsel en zijn immuunrespons op een vrijwillige manier te beïnvloeden. En dat was echt iets wat in de tekstboeken staat, dat kan niet.
Heel lang hebben mensen ook gedacht, ja die Wim dat is gewoon circus. Maar nu heb je ineens het bewijs.
With his body as his ultimate research lab, Wim Hof is literally living proof of what the human body is capable of.
Takže, poprosím vás, privítajte na pódiu, please welcome on stage Miss Laura Hof, daughter of Wim Hof and instructor of this method. Please welcome. Laura, welcome. Hi. Take your seat, whichever you want to.
Take whichever I want?
Yeah, number one, it's for you.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you very much for inviting me.
Well, just to explain to the people what we've seen just recently. What was that?
Well, this was Radboud University. It was actually my father, the crazy Dutch guy, as we always say. This is a man that is able to regulate pretty much his immune system and its autonomic nervous system. And this was for the first time in history and in scientific history that it was proven that we are able, with these techniques, to be influencers of our own autonomic nervous system. So something that previously thought was without, outside of our will is now within. And this is the research study in 2011, but after this, actually Wim was like, no, I'm not the only person that can do this. And of course in science, if you have an anomaly, so one person doing it, it doesn't mean that means that is possible for all people. And he was like, no, hey, let me tell you, this method is able to do that for anybody. Anybody can go through his nervous system, immune systems, and have the same results.
Okay.
So the scientists were like, okay, so what are we going to do? What do you suppose we're going to do? Well, I'm going to train other people to do exactly the same thing and produce exactly the same results.
Okay, and tell me about you. When did you personally start working with your father on this method? And maybe when you think about your childhood, back memories, how do you remember those days?
Oh man, I mean, if you have a father like this, you can imagine. If you got, I got teased at school a lot, you know, in the beginning, because you have a crazy father that does all kinds of yoga tricks, comes in shorts, gets you and picks you from school, short slippers in the middle of winter while everybody has their jackets on. So of course, being brought up by this man is pretty special because it's not a normal man, of course.
Okay.
So, but during my life, it has been pretty extraordinary. My father is one big kid, and he's always happy, always on top of his game. So as a child, you couldn't wish for a better father like that, you know?
Okay.
So what he taught us a lot is to really be able to just use our mind and really flip that switch whenever it's needed in life. So whenever I am like in front of an ice bath, a lot of people, they will, you know, get a very nervous reaction. And for me, the first time that I entered an ice bath was quite easy. I just went in it and I just let myself be embraced by that. But so, later on, actually it was when I was working with my father. My father did all these kind of crazy stunts, all these world records, but he has been trained for 30 years, you know. It's only after that, after 30 years of training, that my big brother actually began working with my father, and we as a whole family also were working with my father as well. So now we're a big family working together.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where is it when the newcomer is coming to you and said, okay, I want to start with this method? What can they expect?
We have a 50% of rate of dying, so that's very...
That's very sad.
No, actually, all people can learn
survive.
All people will survive, really. What we do is we put people through stressors. We learn them by breathing and by cold exposure, gradual cold exposure, and mindset, that they are able to influence their own system, or to have more control of their body and their mind.
Okay.
It's pretty easy. We have some breathing techniques that is actually detoxifying your body. You get more energy, you have a raise of adrenaline, so it makes you hyper-focused and you get much more energy. You have the ice cold bath, which you could do that in a controlled setting in a workshop. You know, if you have a workshop that we organize, you go into an ice cold bath, but it's in a controlled setting. So you have an ice bath and you go in there for 2 minutes, 2 minutes, and what it teaches you is to be calm in a very stressful state. In an ice bath, it's the ultimate stressor for your body and your mind. Because if you can be calm and collected in an ice bath, you'll be calm and collected everywhere. Okay. So with that, it also takes a lot of willpower. Yeah, it's strong willpower, mind-body connection, to be able to resist that stressor. And that is something, those little techniques that I just tell you about, they are they're super handy in life. This for every stressful situation that you have in life. Whenever you feel iffy, whenever you don't feel good, you do this method, you feel better, you have more energy, you have more focus, and you'll be ready to take on any stressor that you have.
How do you start?
How do I start?
What's the first step?
The first step, well, you could also take cold showers, yes. This is pretty much training your cardiovascular, and we call it a cardiovascular workout. So a lot of time you go to the gym and you work out your muscles. Yes. Well, the same you do for all these little blood veins you have. You have 125 kilometers of blood vessels. That is if you take these side by side, yes, you have 2.5 times going around the Earth. Now, these blood vessels are pumping 6 liters of blood through your whole system. And they're actually your infrastructure. Okay, so what goes through? You get the energy is flushed through that system, that infrastructure, the nutrients, but also waste product. Any kind of waste product is being flushed out much more efficiently. So this is what you are pretty much doing. You're training your it's a cardiovascular workout. At the same time, your pH level goes up, yes, and your inflammation goes down. You feel less pain. And not only that, your heart doesn't have to pump that much harder because all these 125 kilometers of blood veins, they have little tiny muscles. And these little tiny muscles, they vasodilate, they go open, and they constrict. This is how they pump all those nutrients and energy and waste product, etc., throughout your body. Now, when you are training these little muscles, it means your heart doesn't have to pump that hard. So how do you begin? Okay, for a person in the morning, you could do it during the whole day, by the way. It doesn't really matter when you do it. So you go in and you just had your little sleep, you know, nice little body, like a beauty sleep. Yeah. And then you take 15 seconds of cold shower, and you can do it after your warm shower to begin. Okay. Gradually going up. So you begin with 15 the first day, maybe. Second day you go 30, then you go 40, then you go 1 minute, 50, no, 1 minute. Okay. And what you can do, after 2 minutes, there won't be, 2-3 minutes, there won't be any more benefits to it. Okay. So that's pretty much where your threshold is. Okay. Yes.
So the time is the important measure.
Well, yeah, timing is always everything. What we do say, however, is feeling, try to go by feeling. Yeah? Okay. So if you have your body, if it feels good for you, those 15 minutes, 15 seconds, okay, do a little bit more. Okay. Your body is able to do that. Your body is equipped to be able to deal with that stressor. Okay. Yeah. And you get a flush of like a happy hormone, so it's an instant mood booster as well. I love it because of that, because after that it's like, woo, I feel good. That's why you keep on doing it every time. Okay. Yeah, it's like a workout. In the beginning, you really don't want to do it maybe, you know, for those beginners, but because you know the benefits, you'll do it every time again, and you'll do it more, you'll just feel that much better, whereby you're going to do it every time.
Okay, we have questions from the audience. How to start to train willpower?
Well, that is what I'm saying. If you want to train your willpower, try to see how you react towards an ice bath. If you have an ice bath that is super cold, that is a stressor in life. Okay, so it takes an enormous amount of willpower to be able to deal with an ice bath, to be able to stay and remain calm in an ice bath. That is willpower. Okay. So,
and another question. Does it mean that I can tell my body, don't be sick, heal yourself, like a magician?
Well, you don't do this with a little magic wand, but what you do is, with a little bit of work, you can actually, yes, you can tell your body through breathing, through cold exposure, that, hey, this is a stressor. Your pH levels go up, you have less inflammation, and when that happens, your pain goes down. So yes, it is healing itself. When you take an ice bath, they measured the anti-inflammatory bodies of people in an ice bath. Inflammation, that is disease. Any disease is caused by inflammation. And what they see is that the anti-inflammatory markers, even after 6 days of taking an ice bath, they were still just on a much higher level than before. So yes, you can influence your health. Yes, you can influence your health. But yes, you can definitely heal yourself with it. We have many fantastic stories of people with autoimmune diseases, and also with like chronic stress of burnout, you know. And if you
we will talk about burnouts later today. So
I was like, hey, why wasn't I on that panel?
you can join.
Yeah, because it's like being in the on system the whole time, you know. And what we do with the method is to learn to switch it off, you know, to switch it off from the fight and flight, which we are constantly in, stressor. We do give it a stressor, but afterwards we go to a parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest system, because you need both systems to be working optimal.
Okay.
And if they both work optimal, if they work together, then your system knows when to shut it off, yes, or be on again. So.
Okay. Yeah. Do you ever have a cold, or have you seen your father ever?
Listen, my father loves the heat as well, okay?
Okay.
And let me tell you, it's also good to alternate between heat and cold. So we are not only like, hey, go only take ice baths and all the cold. No. Of course, you can take warm showers.
Okay.
What I always do personally, I take a warm shower and then I end with the cold.
Okay.
Yeah?
So you start with a warm one, and then you go to the.
That's it. And you can do it gradually. Some people like to do it gradually. I don't like to do it gradually because I like the little shock in between.
Okay.
Because it just, you feel it. You feel an instant boost. You feel an instant boost. The same goes with a sauna, you know. If you go to the sauna and then you have cold, that's exactly the same. You're training your cardiovascular system. Okay? So it's
do you drink coffee, or do you have just these cold showers?
Well, no. I love my coffee as well, eh?
Okay.
Yeah, and Wim as well, by the way. So it's not like the one makes sure that the other. No, it's you can do whatever. You can do whatever. Yeah.
How long does the course take?
Well, it depends on what you do. We have a free app, by the way, that is the basics of the Wim Hof method. So it teaches you the breathing, the basic breathing. The sort of gradual cold exposure with the cold showers and the mindset. And so this is for everybody, and you can pretty much do it with, I don't know, an hour. But we also have, for those that really feel great doing the free app, we have a 10-week course. So that takes 10 weeks. But yeah, people afterwards, they just go on because they feel so much better. So it's a workshop. If you do it with one of our instructors, it takes about 4 or 6 hours. Yeah, but they really go into the science, you know. They really explain what is happening with your body. They prime you. So before an ice bath, you also visualize, you know, and all those little exercises are included there as well.
And what is so special about the ice and all this really like cold thing when you think about the stressfulness that's creating in your body? Why ice?
Well, you know, ice is, you cannot be colder than ice, right? That is, if you are thinking about our primal ancestors, what were they dealing with? They were dealing with stressors in life. And with that, it's just the cold and then the heat. Well, what do you do with the heat? Yeah, you sweat. Well, what do you do with the cold? Your little veins, they are opening up or giving heat, or they closing it. So they keep the warmth inside. So that is pretty much why the cold, it's personally, it's so much better, and it's flushing the system. So it's the ultimate workout. It's the extreme for your little veins.
Okay. How to meditate? Could you describe it? Show it.
Yeah, but what does...
Like for 20 minutes right now here.
Yeah. But what is meditation, you know? You could do all kind of different things. The normal meditation, if you think about normal meditation, most of the time, what they do? You have two systems of your nervous system. There is the sympathetic nervous system, your fight and flight. And then you have the parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest. So outside of the cave, inside of the cave. Okay. Yeah. When you go meditate the regular way, so you just sit down, you know, you just sit down and you go, okay, don't think about anything. What are you doing? You're pretty much going only to the parasympathetic nervous system. So rest and digest. Everybody could do that, but I think we're talking about the breathing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the breathing, it's actually the basics. It's quite easy, and I think this is also a great tip for everybody. I know that there's an after party going on later on. I expect everybody to get super drunk, and because then you can really test out the breathing method. Because with the breathing method, what you do is you really detoxify your blood. And actually, the first time that I really found out that it was so great,
That was a great party.
it was when I had a hangover. Yes.
Okay, very well.
So that's pretty much when I really found out about it. But this is what the basic breathing really is about. So you don't do nothing more than 30 breaths, deep breaths in, and you take it from the belly, chest, head. You really try to feel and connect with your breath. So you take a deep breath in, and you just let it go.
30 times.
30 times. Deep breath in, and you let it go. Deep breath in, and you let it go. And it's actually after the last breath, where you take a deep breath in, you let it go, and then you stop after exhalation. Yes? So you stop breathing with no air in the lungs, as we say it.
Okay.
But what happens is that you trigger a fight or flight response. So, but you do it in a controlled manner.
Okay.
So this is the basic breathing, pretty much.
Okay.
And after that, when you really cannot hold it any longer,
Okay. Then I start breathing again.
you start with one big breath,
Okay.
and you hold it for 5, 10, or 15 seconds.
Okay.
And then you release it again. And that is the one round only.
How many rounds?
You could do 3 rounds. The protocol is 30 breaths and 3 rounds. But what I would say, when you get in tune with your body, when you know the protocol, yeah, because sometimes we want to go by facts, we want to go by figures. This was measured through Radboud University, tested with 12 subjects as well, being able to also influence their autonomic nervous system and their immune system, yes. Doing exactly what the crazy Dutch guy did. But, so 30 breaths, but after that, just try to listen to your body. Maybe you want 40 breaths, maybe you want 50 breaths. Yes?
Okay.
But with the retention, as we say, yes, so holding up, you just hold it as long as you can. And whenever you feel that you have the urge to breathe, try to see if you can prolong it just a couple of seconds.
Okay.
Really try to push that a little bit, because that's gonna be, in my experience, gonna give you a little bit more result. And then the big breath in, you just hold 5, 10, 15 seconds. That doesn't really matter in my experience. You will feel tingly sensations. You'll get super high on your own supply, as we always say.
Okay.
I get really high by it. So yeah, but you'll get as well, and you'll get all kinds of nice little happy hormones rushing through your body, you know. So, and after that, you feel just in a much calmer state. It's a reset for your autonomic nervous system. So it's a total reset, and then it gets into the perfect balance again.
Okay.
It's homeostasis. It's what the body naturally wants to go to. It's its balanced state.
Okay. Well, we have a lot of questions, and our time is up. I believe that Laura will be here.
Oh man, that's okay. That's a lot of questions.
That's a lot of questions, but probably the last one. What do you think we as humanity can achieve with this new skill in the future?
Oh, that's beautiful. I mean, if you can control your state, yeah, it also means that when you're balanced, you're gonna be a better person. When you're a better person, you're gonna be better towards others as well. And it's funny because my father, he always says, I want peace on earth.
Okay, very well.
I want peace on earth, and actually, I cannot really respond in a different way, because that's really much what he wants. So that's all I can say.
Okay.
But all these questions, are these questions, I could also, later on.
Okay.
And yes, the online, there are tips. The techniques, the basics are for free. You can just download the app, which is Wim Hof Method. Wim Hof Method. So everybody can download it right now. Tomorrow morning, when you had the after party, when you are a little bit hangover, try the breathing and see how it works for you.
Thank you very much. Potles, please, Laura Hof, thanks for coming.
Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank you.